Greetings, Newark. My name is Amina Bey, and I am your councilwoman for the Central Ward, and welcome to Central Ward Conversations. We use this forum and this platform to discuss the issues that are important to you, the residents of the city of Newark. We bring here the department heads, the leaders of the city, to talk about the programs and the services and all of the things that make this city run. Today we have a very special guest. I want to introduce you to Deputy Mayor and Director of the Department of Economic Development, Allison Ladd. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Councilmember Bey. I'm really excited about our conversation and about all the great things that you're doing in our Central Ward.
Oh, thank you so much. So first of all, how long have you been with the city?
Wow, who would have known? It feels like a lot longer, but I've been here since 2019, so just over about 6 years. And it's been a great place for me to be part of a community. I really loved my home in DC, but I actually love Newark even better.
So you were actually recruited to come and be the Deputy Mayor of Economic Development.
I think that it was two sides. I was also looking for a leadership opportunity, and I was really excited to be closer to Connecticut because that's where my family is. And so I was excited about looking for something up here in the tri-state area. And then at the same time, Mayor Baraka was looking for someone to run economic development. So it just happened to be a really great coincidence.
So tell us about your department and what is it that you do?
Economic and Housing Development Department, our focus is all about advancing Newarkers and Newark forward according to the mayor's inclusive and equitable growth strategy. So that's the sentence, right? But really what we do is we work to build wealth in our residents, our Black and Brown communities, as well as our developers and our businesses. We also work to ensure that all of the development is happening in the proper way through site plans and planning and zoning, and also through some financial techniques to ensure that we have affordable housing in our city. And so we could go on and on, council member, but we have this great website that helps us in the city of Newark, and we are able to really showcase the work that we're doing at Economic and Housing Development. So anyone who wants to go to newarknj.gov is able to see all of the wonderful things that Economic and Housing Development is doing.
Now we know that there's a lot of development going on in the city, billions of dollars going on in our city. We are growing, we are expanding. There's so much that's happening, but we know that the Central Ward has become the hub. There's so much that's happening. Are there any special initiatives or projects that you would want Central Ward residents to know about?
Oh, absolutely. One of the great things about the Central Ward is it's also our central business district. And there are so many corporations and businesses there. And also we have our educational institutions and a lot of our arts hubs. So what's so exciting is the mayor, with our former director of the museum, was able to create something called an arts and education district. And it's really exciting to see the businesses coming, the artists coming, the murals going up, the ability to collaborate with our institutions like NJIT and Rutgers Newark, and also Essex County Community College. And so we're just really glad to have that opportunity to focus our efforts really on bringing our downtown to a 24/7 space for Newark and anyone who wants to come visit us. But I'd also tell you the other piece that I think is really exciting for the Central Ward is Harriet Tubman Square.
Yes.
Harriet Tubman Square is beautiful, and I know you spent a lot of time there as well, but I find that to be one of the most wonderful parks and monuments that we have here in our city. And not only are we investing in bringing that park up to even more exciting standards for our recreation for our families, but also we are going to be improving the pedestrian access along the streets, because we know that we want to be able to have a walkable city. And one way to do it is to go to our assets, such as Tubman Square, and find a way to invest in our ability to walk around in that area, go see some shows, figure out how we want to go grab a bite to eat, and just enjoy our arts and education district.
I love it. That's amazing. So now, I see you're always at the council meetings. You're addressing the concerns of the residents, addressing the questions asked by the council members, and there are always questions about housing and development. How do you and your team work across departments and work with other officials in the city to help address these concerns about housing and development?
Oh, sure. There's a couple key partnerships that we have. And of course, we partner with all of our departments, but I think there's two highlights that I think would really amplify what you asked. So, first, Mayor Baraka is all about collaboration. If we are not collaborating, then we may not be doing the best job we could. So we must collaborate. And so one really great collaboration we have is with on development, or with the Water and Sewer Department, Engineering, and Economic and Housing Development. And what the three departments do is they actually meet every Wednesday, and it's something called a Technical Review Committee. And it's a way for anybody who's submitting a site plan to actually get early on advice from three departments: Engineering, Water and Sewer, and Planning and Zoning under EHD. And what we're trying to do is speed up the process for people to be able to do development in our city. And one of that is you need to get a site plan approved in order for us to be able to move forward to do any real estate in Newark. And so with that is one way that we're collaborating, because before we had this technical review committee, you had to go to each department individually. So you can imagine how long that took, Councilmember. So this is a much more efficient way. But the second one, which is really exciting to me, is something in which the Department of Health and Community Wellness and EHD are working on stronger collaboration about finding housing for our families that are most vulnerable. So you may be a family without an address, you may be a resident who's looking for affordable housing in a different neighborhood, you may have just got a new job and you're trying to find a place to, have your children grow up. And what we found is that we have to really treat the person, right? We have to help the person. We can't just think about it as we're building units and people can find the units on their own. So we've been doing this housing navigation with the Office of Homeless Services under the Department of Health and Community Wellness, along with EHD, and we've been able to make more placements for families. I want to say, I think if I remember correctly, we're past the 200 mark in just a year. Excellent. And that's really exciting because it is hard to find housing. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, Councilmember, when we moved here from DC, we didn't have a real way to figure out where the housing was. And now I think the city, through the mayor's leadership and the council's support, has been able to create a better ecosystem for people to know, well, where do I find housing? Can I get it online? Can I go to City Hall? Who can I call? And those things are so important, I think, to residents. So I'd say those are two highlights about how we're working in collaboration with other departments.
Those are excellent highlights, and I thank you for that information. One of the things that you mentioned, the mayor's his insistence on collaboration. He is very very insistent on that, but also about making sure that we provide information to the residents. And so that he has these monthly men's meetings.
Yes.
And sometimes they're men's and women's meetings, family meetings, but really to try to encourage Newark residents to engage the city, to open businesses in the city, to collaborate with one another, to open businesses, because maybe you're not ready to do it by yourself and you can get some family members or some friends and partner up and form a company and do that. I wanted to know, how does your department help support local businesses, young entrepreneurs, people who are just starting out and they come from the mayor's meeting and it's like they're energized and they want to do it, and we have 5 friends and we pulled our money together and we want to open a business. We were born and raised in the city and we want to stay here. How does Deputy Mayor Allison Ladd and her team help them succeed?
Well, this is the most exciting part of my day, this part, being able to talk about how we are helping Newarkers grow Newark. We know that the mayor's men's meetings, and if anyone's listening and they haven't gone to a men's meeting, go to a men's meeting.
Absolutely.
You won't get turned away if you're of another gender, but you can. But I would definitely go. Why? Because they're inspirational as well as practical, and also a how-to. So there's a way for us to share information. So take, for instance, you want to be part of the development of the city, and you want to buy a lot that you saw vacant on your on your block for years, maybe even decades, and you're just like, well, gosh, I don't want to make that to be vacant longer. I mean, might as well capitalize on it. Well, you can get information from our managers at that men's meeting or any other community meeting, and we'll be able to help you see how you can buy property, how you can access resources and funds so that you'll be able to renovate or build that house, and also how you can market it to our residents. And I think that we try to look at the whole process. So, you need to buy the land, you need to go through entitlements process, you need funding, and then you need to have someone in there so you can actually get a return on your investment. But we have a team that helps walk people through that. So even if it's your first time, you should come see us, because we'll still be able to give you some pointers and tips on how you can be part of the development. But if you're thinking about something else, I'd tell you from a small business standpoint, we have these great partners in Invest Newark and Newark Alliance. I think that we're so proud that they're part of our city's ecosystem too, because Invest Newark, actually, as you probably know, they've been able to provide funding to small businesses to come into Newark, to expand in Newark, to be located in our arts and education district. And it's really exciting to see them open. Harlem Cycle just got here on Halsey, which is so exciting.
In the Central Ward?
In the Central Ward. And there's so many more, from Melbas to Deltas to others that are here. And we're just really excited about how a partner like Invest Newark can use their creative approach to investing in communities and in people. And we're able to bring these businesses here. But we can't, we got to make sure we're focused also on the Newark Alliance, because they're our large corporations and our anchors. And everything we do here also has to do with our anchors and corporations. We want them to stay. We don't want you to leave. We want you to feel at home here in our beautiful city and make it your home. And so everything that we can do to help support the local economy, I think also helps to support our local corporations and our national corporations so that they'll stay and thrive in Newark.
That is so important. So what major development projects should residents be aware of right now, and how can they give input or raise concerns?
Well, the best way to get involved is to come to our Central Planning Board, our Zoning Board, our Historic Commission, our Environmental Commission. Those are the everyday ways in which residents can have their voice be heard by various appointed commissioners or board members. And you can really speak to what do you like for your community, and does the project speak to you as a neighbor? I think that's one great way to be able to get involved. The second way is I know there are many community meetings. So whether it's public safety, or whether it's the Office of Homeless Services, or Public Works. But essentially, it's a way for us to hear from residents directly, and then the residents can hear from the departments and also from our electeds, and we're able to try to address the issue in real time. We do our best, and I think that's one of the exciting parts is that between community meetings and also these public planning and zoning meetings, it's really a way for you to get involved. Now, I'll tell you this, council member. It wasn't always the case when I got here. So you asked me when we sat down, well, how long have I been here? Well, I'll tell you, when I came, the community meetings and the attention to the boards and commissions meetings was probably at a lower point. By that I mean people maybe didn't know about the meeting, or they didn't know how to participate. But through advocacy of both yourself, of Mayor Baraka, of your predecessor, we were able to see now today, I think, a lot of fruits of labor that allow people to know that you are part of the community. The development is not just here. It is here because we want it to be here. So those are some great things that I can see coming, is all this continued development that's happening.
And we just love the fact that our city is growing and just under development and really just moving forward. And we're just so grateful that we have an administration that's so progressive in that way. So what does equitable economic and housing development look like, and how is Newark working toward that vision?
So I think that it means that we all have a chance to succeed. And by that I mean the system may be equitable, but really does it allow equity to occur? Mm-hmm. So everybody might be able to go through the same door, right? And we want that to happen. But we also need to know that sometimes our barriers to entry are too great for some families and not others. So what we need to do is make sure that we're having low barrier to entry programs. So what do I mean by that? When I talked about development and people wanting to buy property, you didn't have to have experience to buy property. That was one of the principles. Mm-hmm. You needed to be able to have vision, insight, desire, perseverance, and an ability to raise capital. And you could buy a piece of land from the city and be able to be part of the growth. And I'm so excited that some of our residents have been able to do it more than once, more than twice, have grown into mid-size projects, and some of them even part of large-scale developments. And so I think that we needed to create that approach that allowed everyone to know that you could be part of Newark. It wasn't just for some, it was for all. I think the second part is like finding a way to not only own your development, but also to own your home. Mm-hmm. So we've been doing a lot with home ownership and figuring out ways that we can provide more down payment assistance. Just in the last 5 years, the mayor has, with the council's support, increased down payment assistance from $5,000 to $20,000. So that's great. I mean, I know we all need a little bit more because $20,000 is a great number, but the cost of housing continues to rise. So we need to find a way to make that work. So I'll tell you though that what we try to do for equitable development really is, again, make sure that people have the same information, they can walk through the same door, and they have the same opportunity as everyone else.
So if I wanted to inquire about property that the city owns that I may be interested in or want to find out, how do I go about that?
Sure, there are two ways. The first is that you can call us at 973-733-6575. So that's 973-733-6575, and we'd be able to answer your questions. In addition, you can also email us at EHD, so it's EHD at ci.newark.nj.us. And that actually is funneled to about a half a dozen people in the office to make sure that the person will, who asking a question will receive follow-up. So, but I'm really excited that you had a chance to have me here with you, and we had a chance to talk. I know you have so many things that you're trying to do in the Central Ward, but also for Newarkers, and so I'm happy to do anything I can to support you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Just the last question, I just want to know, is there anything about your role as deputy mayor, your role as director of EHD, and your department that you want Newark residents to know that you think that they don't know?
I would say that the one part is, and I'm very proud of this, is that most of our department is the employees are Newark residents. It's an incredible thing, I think, for people to know that Newark government is also hiring Newark residents, and Newark residents are leading many of these efforts that we talk about. Now, that's not the case in all places. As we talked about, I was in DC, I was in Maryland, and it wasn't always the same approach to leadership. But I think that, you know, with the mayor's leadership, we're able to grow our talent pool. But by that I mean we're able to grow it by promoting from within, giving people an opportunity to provide even more for their families. And it's a moment that I'm very proud of because, you know, that's, I feel like, is what the job is. The job is for us to grow leaders within our department. We have to do all the services, but what else are we also supposed to do is grow leaders in our own city and have them lead us forward.
Well, I think that's extremely important because we're talking about investing in the city, and you can't invest in the city if you don't invest in its people. And so This is what the mayor does every single day, and this is what you do every single day in your department. So, Deputy Mayor, Allison Ladd, I thank you. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your insight, for your wisdom, and for sharing your expertise and all of your information with us. And we want to thank you, Central Ward, for being here. Thank you, Newark, for allowing us to come into your homes. And we welcome you to come back for the next episode of Central Ward Conversations. Until then, be well.